Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wide awake for no clear reason? Maybe you glance at the clock, sigh, and wonder, why now? If so, you're definitely not alone. According to the National Sleep Foundation, nearly 48% of adults over 65 report waking up at least once during the night. And for many, that moment falls right around 3 a.m. It's easy to assume that waking up at 3 a.m. means something's wrong with your body, your mind, or maybe even your lifestyle. But here's the truth: it's not a flaw, and it's not your fault. Waking up at this hour doesn't mean you're broken, it means your body is talking to you in a new language. And perhaps it's time we started listening. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful reasons why this happens. These aren't just quick tips or surface-level advice. Each reason is deeply rooted in how your body changes with age, biologically, emotionally, and even spiritually. From shifting hormone levels to evolving sleep patterns, from quiet emotional unrest to long-standing habits, we're diving into all of it. But this isn't about fixing you. It's about understanding you. Because the more we know about what's happening inside, the more compassion we can offer ourselves. And sometimes, just knowing why we're waking up can be the very key to falling back asleep. You might hear something today that makes you say, "That's exactly what I've been feeling." Or maybe it'll give you a new way to approach your nights, not with frustration, but with patience, with grace. So if you're someone who wakes up around 3 a.m. and finds the silence a little too loud, stay with me. This video might not just help you sleep better, it might help you see those quiet hours in a whole new light. Let's begin this journey, not to chase perfect sleep, but to better understand the rhythms of a changing body and a wise, evolving life. Let's start with one of the most common, yet least understood, reasons so many older adults find themselves wide awake at 3 in the morning. Melatonin. Melatonin is often called the body's sleep hormone. It's the quiet messenger that tells your brain, it's time to rest now. When we're young, our bodies produce plenty of it, strong and steady, and that's part of why we could sleep through the night so easily back then. But as the years go by, something shifts. The production of melatonin begins to slow. And this change doesn't usually make the headlines. But it makes a big difference, especially in the early morning hours. Around 2 to 4 a.m., when your melatonin levels dip too low, your body starts to wake up, not because anything is wrong, not because of noise or stress, but simply because the chemistry that once held you in deep sleep isn't as strong as it used to be. And here's the twist: it's not just about biology. As we age, we become more sensitive to the world around us. The soft glow of a street lamp outside, the blinking light on a bedside clock, even a hallway nightlight, all of these can interfere with melatonin production. Light, even the smallest bit, tells your body, it's morning. And your body listens, sometimes too well. Take Harold, for example. He's 72. For most of his life, Harold slept like a rock. But lately, he started waking up at exactly 3:15 a.m., fully alert. No pain, no dreams, just awake. At first, he thought he was broken. But after learning about melatonin and aging, something clicked. He didn't blame himself anymore. He started adjusting. Now, Harold keeps his bedroom darker, blackout curtains, no screens before bed, and a peaceful evening walk to reset his internal clock. And while he still wakes early from time to time, it feels different now. He's working with his body, not against it. That's the beauty of understanding. When you know why something is happening, you stop fighting it, you start listening. And with sleep, especially as we grow older, that shift in mindset can change everything. So if you've been waking at 3 a.m. wondering what's going wrong, consider this. Maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe your body is simply adjusting to a new rhythm, a quieter pace, a wiser kind of rest. And that knowledge alone can help you sleep, if not longer, then deeper, and with more peace. Have you ever noticed that you're starting to feel sleepy earlier than you used to? Maybe you're nodding off halfway through a late-night movie, or waking up at dawn without an alarm, even on days you wish you could sleep in just a little longer. If that sounds familiar, what you're experiencing might not be insomnia, it might simply be a shift in your internal clock, something known as advanced sleep phase. And it's far more common than you think. As we get older, our circadian rhythm, That internal timing system that tells us when to sleep and when to wake gradually begins to move forward. It's not a sudden change. It happens gently, almost silently, over the years. One day you're staying up past midnight. Then, without even realizing it, your eyes are getting heavy by 8:30 p.m., and by 3 a.m., your body is ready to rise. This isn't a disorder, it's biology, and in many ways, it's your body doing exactly what it's designed to do as it ages. But while it's natural, it can also be frustrating, especially when the world around you isn't on the same schedule. The shift is even more noticeable if your days have become quieter. Retirement, living alone, or having fewer social engagements can reduce the external cues your body once relied on to stay up later, things like evening conversations, errands, or even just the noise of a busy household. In their absence, your system winds down earlier and wakes earlier. 2. Let me share a story. Charles is 68, recently retired, and lives a peaceful life. He eats dinner around 5:30, watches some TV, and is usually in bed by 9 p.m. sharp. But then came the 3 a.m. awakenings, consistent, quiet, and a little confusing. At first, he thought it was a sleep problem. But when he learned about the advanced sleep phase, it all made sense. Instead of fighting it, Charles made small changes. He added a short evening walk, read under a warm light before bed, and even started having short evening calls with his daughter. These tiny shifts helped stretch his internal clock just a bit, and now he wakes up closer to morning, feeling more refreshed and more in tune with the day. Let's talk about something that many of us don't always want to admit: how physical discomfort can quietly slip into our nights and wake us up around 3 a.m. just when we thought we were finally getting some rest. It doesn't always come with a loud alarm or a jolt of pain. Sometimes it's subtle: a stiff hip, a full bladder, a twinge in your back from sleeping in one position too long. These small signals from the body can be just strong enough to pull you out of sleep, and once you're awake, getting back to sleep isn't always easy. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive. Joints ache a little sooner, muscles tighten more easily, and let's not forget about acid reflux. Something as simple as eating dinner too late or lying down too soon after a meal can lead to that burning sensation that hits right in the middle of the night. Then there's the bathroom visits, a very common reason older adults wake around 3 a.m. In fact, research shows that over 60% of older adults experience nocturia, the urge to urinate at night, which can pull the body out of deep sleep and into lighter, more fragmented rest. Bladders become less elastic, and the urge to go comes on faster. Even if you fall asleep easily at bedtime, that one trip to the bathroom can shift your body out of deep sleep into a lighter, more alert state. And from there, sleep doesn't always come back quickly. And here's something many people overlook: medications. If you're taking prescriptions for blood pressure, heart conditions, or pain relief, you might not realize that those pills, helpful as they are, can affect your sleep. Some increase urination, others raise sensitivity to light, or alter your body temperature. All of these can nudge you awake without warning. Take Eleanor, for example, a bright, thoughtful 76-year-old woman. For months, she found herself waking up at 3:30 a.m. sharp. She assumed it was just aging, until she brought it up at a doctor's visit. After a little digging, they discovered that one of her medications was slightly dehydrating her and increasing her nighttime trips to the bathroom. With her doctor's guidance, she adjusted the timing of her dose, and just like that, her sleep improved. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, try asking yourself, is my body trying to tell me something? Maybe it's a physical discomfort. Maybe it's a side effect. Either way, it's not a failure, it's feedback. And when we learn to listen to our bodies instead of getting frustrated with them, we begin to understand a simple truth: our bodies aren't betraying us, they're communicating with us. With awareness comes choice. With choice comes peace. And with peace, even the 3 a.m. wake-ups can become an opportunity to care more gently, more wisely, for the body that's carried us so far. Most 3 a.m. wake-ups are perfectly normal, simply part of a changing body adapting to new rhythms. But sometimes, they can be a gentle signal to pay closer attention. If you often wake up in the middle of the night accompanied by symptoms like heart palpitations, shortness of breath, chest discomfort, intense anxiety, or if you feel excessively tired during the day, it's worth speaking to your doctor. Changes in sleep can sometimes be linked to blood pressure issues, thyroid imbalances, heart conditions, or sleep disorders like sleep apnea. And if you've already tried adjusting your habits, like bedtime, diet, or screen time, but sleeplessness persists for more than 2 weeks, that's also a good time to check in with a healthcare provider. Remember, seeing a doctor doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're being proactive about your well-being. It's not a weakness, it's wisdom. When we take care of our sleep, we're not just chasing rest, we're protecting our heart, our mind, and our long-term health. Sometimes, the reason we wake up at 3 a.m. isn't medical or emotional. It's simply the ripple effect of how we've been living day to day. And the thing is, these changes sneak in so gradually that we don't even notice them at first. As we age, our routines often soften. We may start eating dinner earlier, especially if we're no longer working or juggling a packed schedule. Maybe we slow down a bit in the afternoons, taking it easier than we used to, and rightly so. But over time, these little shifts can start sending signals to our body. It's time to wind down early. The result? We fall asleep earlier, and naturally, we wake up earlier too, sometimes at 3 o'clock or 4 a.m., wondering why we're wide awake before the sun even thinks about rising. Here's another layer to consider. When the days get quieter and less structured, especially in retirement, we lose those daily anchors that used to help our sleep-wake rhythm stay on track. No more commute, no more afternoon meetings, maybe fewer social gatherings. Our body, without realizing it, starts to push bedtime forward. Add in dim lighting and low stimulation in the evening, and the brain starts producing melatonin, that sleep hormone, even earlier. And let's not forget about things like caffeine. Even that afternoon cup of coffee you've had for decades might now linger in your system longer, quietly disrupting your deep sleep as your metabolism slows with age. Or skipping a light evening snack, that might trigger a small dip in blood sugar overnight, enough to nudge you awake, even if you don't feel hungry. Take Walter, for example. He's 74, recently retired, and loving the slower pace of life. But little by little, his days became so relaxed that his sleep shifted. 2. He'd have supper at 5 p.m., fall asleep in the recliner during the evening news, and be in bed by 8:30. Before long, 3 a.m. became his unofficial wake-up call. It wasn't until he took a closer look that he realized what had changed. So, he made a few gentle adjustments, took a short walk in the afternoon, read under brighter light in the evenings, and avoided napping right after dinner. These simple tweaks helped him shift his sleep window later, and brought his wake-up time closer to morning again. That's the beauty of awareness. It gives us choice, and choice gives us the power to work with our bodies, not just accept the way things are, but reshape them gently, intentionally. So if you're waking up too early and can't figure out why, maybe it's not about something going wrong. Maybe it's just your habits quietly nudging your rhythm. And the good news? You can always nudge it back. Sometimes, waking up at 3 a.m. has nothing to do with your hormones, your joints, or what you ate for dinner. Sometimes, it's the heart that wakes you. There's something about the stillness of the night, when the world is quiet, the house is dark, and there's no one around, that makes space for emotions we've tucked away during the day. Thoughts we didn't have time to think. Feelings we didn't fully feel. At 3 a.m., those feelings have room to rise to the surface. Maybe you've experienced this too. You wake up, not from noise or discomfort, but from a sudden sense of something. A memory, a moment, a whisper from your past. You might not be anxious. Exactly, just awake, with a full mind and a tender heart. This kind of restlessness is different from the buzzing anxiety we might have felt in our younger years. It's softer, quieter, but no less real. It might be a touch of loneliness, a longing for someone to talk to, or a wave of regret, something you wish you had said, or done, or understood differently. Or maybe it's just your inner voice, asking to be heard. Gloria, for example, is 80 and widowed. Her days are filled with gentle joys, gardening, calling her grandchildren, watching her favorite shows. But most nights, around 3 a.m., she wakes up, and without fail, her thoughts drift to memories of her late husband. Sometimes it's a smile, other times, a tear. At first, She thought something was wrong with her sleep. But eventually, she realized it wasn't her sleep that was calling, it was her heart. To soothe herself, Gloria started keeping a small journal by her bedside. Nothing fancy, just a few lines. A reflection, a memory, a prayer. She also began playing soft music before bed, something that gave her a sense of calm and closure to the day. Over time, those small rituals became a comfort, and even when she still wakes up at 3 a.m., she no longer fears it. Because here's the truth: the human heart doesn't follow a bedtime. It remembers when it needs to, it grieves when it must, and sometimes, that moment arrives before dawn. So if you find yourself awake in the quiet hours, don't rush to push it away. Instead, ask gently, what is my heart trying to say? You might discover a memory asking to be honored, or a part of yourself needing a little kindness. These moments of wakefulness can be more than interruptions, they can be invitations. To reflect, to heal, to connect with your story, in a way only silence allows. And maybe, just maybe, with understanding and grace, you'll find your way back to sleep, not just with closed eyes, but with a lighter soul. So now that we've explored all the reasons, physical, emotional, and everything in between, let me leave you with this thought. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a flaw. It's not your body failing you. It's not your mind being broken. In fact, it might be just the opposite. It's your body responding, your mind processing, your heart whispering in the quiet. You see, sleep isn't a perfect science. Especially as we grow older, it becomes less about the number of hours and more about how we honor the rhythm that our body is naturally shifting into. Those early wake-ups might not be the problem. They might be part of the process, your body adapting to a new phase of life. One that holds just as much wisdom as any that came before. Understanding the why behind your 3 a.m. awakenings doesn't make the moment go away. But it does change how you feel in it. And that's powerful, because once you stop blaming yourself, or fearing that something is wrong, you open the door to compassion. You begin to make gentle adjustments, dimming the lights, changing your bedtime routine, tuning into what your body truly needs, not out of frustration, but out of kindness. And maybe next time you open your eyes in the dark, instead of thinking, why is this happening again? You might pause, take a breath, and ask, what is this moment trying to tell me? Maybe it's a reminder to care more deeply for your physical body. Maybe it's your heart asking to be heard. Or maybe it's simply your sleep rhythm, shifting like the tides, and you learning to move with it. You've lived long enough to know that not every answer comes in the daylight. Some arrive in the silence, in the hush before dawn. And those moments, if we let them, can become a kind of gentle conversation between who we were, who we are, and who we're still becoming. So if you've seen yourself in any part of this video, in the stories, in the patterns, in the quiet 3 a.m. thoughts, know this: you are not alone. You are not doing anything wrong. You are evolving, and that, in itself, is something to honor. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something here spoke to you, a thought, a story, a feeling, I invite you to share it in the comments below. Your words matter, your experience matters, and the more we share, the more we help each other feel seen. If this video helped you feel a little more understood, a little less alone, consider subscribing, so we can keep having these important conversations together. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, even in the quiet hours.